Yo, Novatos, thanks again for tuning in to yet another video. Infamous coming at you live from the West Coast yet again, San Jose, California. Let's go ahead and talk about warranties. I was just messaged on IG about it, and I already have a few videos, but let's go ahead and, I mean, those are motovlogs. Let's go ahead and do this talking head video about warranties. So if you don't want to avoid your warranty 100%, you have to go with OEM tuners. Let's talk about the stage one. So you have a few components. You have your air breather and you have your exhaust. Those components are outside of your main drivetrain, the inside, the inner workings. So most of those don't really negatively affect your V-twin. Now that depends. I mean, there's a lot of gray areas here. If you do a mod on your air breather, kind of like an external air breather. I don't know if you guys seen when people put little bolts to cover up the ports. This is why I did my external air breather. Yeah, this is the reason why I went ahead and I did an external breather on my air filter the way you guys see it, where there's no drilling. You don't have to drill into your air breather. You don't have to cover up ports or anything like that, because you do run a risk of those bolts coming loose and getting sucked into your intake. Now, something like that will void your warranty, of course. If you have an aftermarket air breather, or you know what, it doesn't even matter. If you were to do that with your stock OEM air breather, if you were to cover it up or put some kind of a bolt that's not supposed to be there and that gets sucked into your intake, you will void your warranty, of course. With your exhaust, full pipes, there isn't anything there. I don't know, maybe for some reason you somehow damaged one of the O2 sensors when you were installing it, and that negatively affected your engine, then that would be considered as voiding your warranty. But that could happen even with stock exhaust. You could accidentally damage or rip or tear or something, one of those O2 sensors, and it wasn't giving you a proper air fuel mixture and stuff like that, and that could also void your warranty if you did it yourself. So it just depends on a few different things. So it's tough to kind of explain this, but overall, stage one, as long as you keep your OEM tuner, a Screaming Eagle tuner, we're talking about Harleys, you will not void your warranty. Once you go into stage two, this is where you start potentially voiding your warranty anyway. So like I said, along with the stage one, if you somehow installed it incorrectly and that damaged the engine, then of course that voids your warranty. So anyways, getting back into the parts, OEM, you have to use OEM components now, 100% for stage two. Now you're changing the inner workings, you're changing the way the engine works. If you use anything other than a Screaming Eagle cam, you will void your warranty 100%. So I was just asked, hey, what about this aftermarket tuner? I'm thinking about getting better performance. This is how I answered. If you have a Screaming Eagle cam, then you should probably stick with the OEM tuner, because you're probably trying to keep your warranty. If you put in an aftermarket cam like S&S or Fueling or Woods or whatever, you will 100% void your warranty with that alone. So at that point, you're better off going with an aftermarket tuner, because you do get more options. You get more maps. You get stuff that's a little bit more advanced for your bike. Using OEM components, you don't really. I mean, you could do that if you take it to a tuner, but if you're doing it yourself and you don't really know what you're doing, kind of like myself, I use a basic tune map provided from Harley-Davidson, and that works just fine on my Lowrider S. All right, enough rambling. If you have ESP, your extended service plan, you should 100% use OEM components, Screaming Eagle. If you don't have ESP and you want all the performance you could get, then obviously you'll have to go aftermarket. If you guys seen Shade Tree Surgeon's video, you've seen Blockhead's video, they have aftermarket tuners on their bikes. But they also have shops, and they also have friends that could actually build them the bikes. They could rebuild them depending on what you're doing, of course, to the engine. You guys already saw the numbers. OEM tuner with a 131, you're looking at 134 horsepower. Once you put an aftermarket tuner on that same 131 with those same components, or you alter it a little bit, you're looking at 150, 160 horsepower. So there's a lot of potential in just the tuner. So I mean, would you get those numbers with the stage 1 or stage 2? No, you will not. Those numbers are mainly for those big bore kits, big performance on the Milwaukee 8. So anyways, you guys just stay out there, stay safe. Thanks for tuning in to yet another video. Don't believe everything you read. Life's a risk. Get out there and ride. Later.